part of death is it's a part of life, but it's also about sort of being welcomed back home, being welcomed back.
Everyone deserves to, when they come into the world, they're held. Everyone deserves to be held when they die. There was a story over in about a school in Cleveland, Ohio, who buried the homeless and the indigent. And I had Dr. Holmes listen to the story, and I said if they next could begin a program to help him and help those who died who were poor to get in touch with me. And from that moment on was the beginning of the St. Joseph Arimathea Society.
The St. Joseph Arimathea Society started actually when I was a student, my freshman year, so back in 2006 when I was a student here. And I've been involved really since all 4 years when I was a student, as well as off and on throughout college if I was back in town for breaks.
Dr. Holmes came to me and he said, would you like to coordinate the burial program with Ben and with St. X? And I said, I'd love to. So initially when I first began in April of '06, I was just moving into overseeing the burial program on a daily basis.
Regardless of what circumstances you lived, regardless if you were homeless, regardless if you were committed crimes, or regardless if you were the most wealthy person in the world, we're all going to die at some point, and we're all going to go home.
Once the coroner has met with a family and they've decided on a date for a burial, we generally have 2 days to put together a team of students. So the coroner immediately emails all of the schools who are going to be a part of the burial program, and he notifies which school is up for that next burial. And so he'll tell which school is doing which burial at what time.
As all the students generally know, 90% of the time there's never a minister there, so that's why it's so important to have the students.
I joined the St. Joseph Arimathea Society because I thought everyone deserves to be remembered with respect and dignity, and no one should leave this place alone and not be remembered.
I think there's a greater sense of humility that I have attained when it comes to my reflections on those who are poor and those who suffer.
And that sort of sense of equal playing field, that sort of sense of equality, that sort of sense of we should all sort of treat each other in the same way, because we're all going to come to this world in the same way, and we're all going to leave it in the same way.
When you're burying people, I think some of the toughest ones are the ones that you all are often at, where we have a homeless person. For example, we're burying a lady tomorrow. We haven't found any family.
I thought it was a really good experience because no one really deserves to pass on their own, and even having someone that you don't know there is better than having no one there. I was pretty nervous about doing the funerals and just kind of participating in it, but after 1 or 2, I really kind of clung to it.
Everything that we do in life isn't easy. Going to school for the first day is uncomfortable. Going to work for the first day is uncomfortable. Going to a funeral for the first time in the St. Joseph Arimathea Society is uncomfortable. But that's a sort of a part of life and a part of this individual's death process. You're going to mess up, but you're also going to learn with it, and you're going to grow with it, and you're going to meet people. You're going to meet people's families, and you're going to start growing with it. So if you are uncomfortable, that's okay.
We've always had a program where we try to buy headstones for the homeless, and the headstones that we buy cost over $300 a piece. We've raised thousands of dollars for these headstones, but that's just a drop in the bucket when you're talking about 1,000 people we've buried. And so the next phase of the St. Joseph Arimathea Society is to actually start making headstones ourselves. And we've been working with a gentleman who is now able to make the headstones for $40 a piece.
It's sort of what you do with your life, what you do before you die, and what between your birth and death, that's what sort of makes things important. And I think I learned a lot about how to live by watching and being with people die. it's been a really interesting sort of transition.